Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative. Today we're here at the end of the Brooklyn Bridge where for the first time I've noticed that they put a bike lane. This shows you how often I come to the Brooklyn Bridge. Before, it was terrible. You had to go with the people and it was a whole mess. But anyway, we're here to talk about the SUPER73 S1. This is the bike that I ordered in December, midway through December, and now we're midway through March. So we're going to check on the condition, the good, the bad, everything that's been going on with this. And if you didn't know, I live here in New York City. So I'm biking a lot. It's really changed the way that I get places, but there are a few holdbacks that may be specific to my bike that I got here, or maybe it's just having issues. But first, this may not be so important to everybody, but for me, I don't clean it. I want it to look as old and grimy as possible because whenever I hook this up with a U-lock to a pole to anywhere, I want it to look unappealing. But I mean, I know it's an electric bike. I know this is something that, people will try to steal. So every single time I lock this up, whether it be a good or bad area, I just kind of pray and hope that it's there. And hey, it's lasted here a few months. So the first key thing that I have is the New York lock. This is the Kryptonite lock. This is the strongest U-lock that you can get from Kryptonite, and they do have an insurance policy. I believe it doesn't work in New York City, even though it says, but there's a possibility after I've registered this that they'll cover some kind of a cost. Of course, that's for a regular bike and not something like this. Where this one, I got this, I believe when they had a discount, it was about $1,600 or something like that, maybe $1,800, and with tax it brought it up to about $2,000. I know now that the S1 is about $2,195. So just think of that when I bought this a few months ago, prior to the inflation price hikes, that's just what it was. But yeah, having this thing strapped on here is one of the key things that I have. The next key thing that I have is just a little bag. Sometimes I need something like this just to kind of keep it all together. Maybe keep some water bottle with me, something else. The next thing is going to be a backpack. Now, because this has a very, very short kind of mud flap here, anything off the wheel can whip right up and at you through this cage because this seat does not go long enough. Now, you may be able to buy a longer seat that can kind of help, but this kind of helps with two purposes. It allows me to pick up stuff, get groceries, and it also acts as a mud flap because even though it's not raining today, it's clear. If you drive through a puddle, your back is going to be covered with mud. It's just not going to look appealing. Not something you really, really want to do. Another essential that I have, I'm actually filming with it right now. This is the DJI Action 2, and I have a magnetic mount on here because whether you're driving with people, with cars, anything like that, it's going to be a very dangerous situation. There's times that people won't look. There's times that maybe you're distracted. You want a record of all of that. So you want to make sure you can get the people who are kind of crossing lanes, and you want to make sure that this will kind of prevent you from doing something bad as well. Let's talk about some of the negatives. We're going to start with something very small, the headlight. As you can see, the headlight mount, now I know they've improved this on the S2. I don't have the S2 and they still are selling the S1. This thing always gets pointed down. Just by the vibration of riding this bike, it always pulls itself down. And maybe that's useful if you live in an area that doesn't have a lot of lighting, but because we live in the city here, I need people to see me. So I rather have this light pointed right at a person or a car so they actually can see the light instead of pointed down, where maybe that would help me kind of ride around. But for this, not for me. And I think honestly what I'm going to do is maybe put something right in between here so it can't fall down, and that would probably help here. Oh, one thing I did miss, because I even forgot this was here, is I put an air tag on this. Now this is kind of a luggage tag from Spec, but this is something I put in, well, hopefully it's a place that people really don't check. So if anything does happen to this bike where it does get taken, there's an air tag on here where I can track its location until it's torn off. and it goes somewhere else. Now, just to be clear, this is a bike without the suspension fork. You can buy the suspension fork on SUPER73's website. It goes for about $400. If you get the S2, it does come with a suspension fork already. All right, now here is one of the key negatives about this bike. This is the battery. We turn the battery on here. We can turn this on here. Now, there is a rating on the website that you're supposed to get maybe about 25 miles riding in the highest class. You're supposed to get 75 miles riding on this mode here. Wait, let's see. Eco mode. Now, I don't really use eco mode because it limits you to about 20 miles per hour, and it's not enough power where if I'm trying to navigate people and if I'm trying to navigate traffic, it doesn't give me enough pull to get around people. Let's say if I need to kind of zip into like a flow of traffic. So I always set that to high. And here's where one of the main disappointments has come through. I've had this battery replaced. I've had this fixture underneath here, the connecting points, replaced. And with about 10 miles on one battery, it's down to 1 bar. Now, this is something that should be lasting about 25 miles in total. 10 miles on the last bar, so this is maybe about 12.5 miles in total. That's half what they really tell me what it is. That's not good enough. Like, that is not good enough. And maybe I would say maybe I got a bad battery. Maybe there's a bad connection point, and that could be true as well. But they did swap this out. This is a brand new battery that I received about a week ago, and the connection port here was replaced about a month ago. That's not good. This changes it from something that's really fun to ride and moves it away from something that I can use as an essential piece. Like if I need to come to Brooklyn from Manhattan, if I need to go to work, if I need to go to the grocery store, I can't really think to do all of that. I can do maybe 1 or 2 of those things, and then I have to go home, and then I have to charge that battery. And that's unfortunate. That's just something that I really feel that they need to do something about. So I'm going to continue to talk to the customer service. They've been really amazing in helping me get the new battery, get the new connection point. If there's anything going wrong with the bike, they are immediately, hey, let's swap that out for you. Now, that's just because I'm under the warranty. Now, maybe that's not going to last forever, and I know that's not going to last forever. So we'll see exactly what happens after this goes out of the warranty. But for me, it's fun. This really changes the way that I move around the city. One more thing here. You can see the front tires. They have the ridges, they are still new and fine. One thing that I found out, because I do a sliding stop, which is a pretty quick halt, and just the way that I brake, you can see that the tires back here, they're not bald, but they are much, much less than what they are in the front. And that's just because when I come to a stop, I either whip stop or I hard stop. And because I don't want to go over the front end, it's always going to be the back tires that I stop with. So I kind of rolled, and yeah, you can see what it's doing to the tires here. This is about 3 months of use. I feel like it could be a little bit better. I know that I just had to buy a new set of tires, which are not always available, but that's just something that you have to deal with. Maybe if you ride in a more controlled way, you'll be fine. But for me, this is the way that I ride. Maybe people could call it aggressive, but that's the way that I feel like you have to ride in the city. Final piece. You can get new batteries, not for this, for the S2 and I believe for the R models. But for this battery, I even asked, hey, I want to buy a battery because my battery life is not doing so great. They don't even have it available. And going to eBay, going to someplace else is not something I trust with this just yet, because I don't really know much about what I'm doing. That's disappointing, because I'd love to have one here, maybe one in a backpack. I'd have it literally sitting here, or I'd have one just kind of at my work and at home as a backup. Because for me, the battery life on the lithium ion battery life on all my devices, including this, has been increasingly disappointing. It costs a lot to get more. Some of these are internal and you can't replace it. With this, you can replace it, but that's under warranty. Let's say this battery goes bad outside of warranty. I am out of luck. I can do another replacement, but again, they don't sell it. And that's because I believe these are refurbished batteries. And that's really all they have left, because they've moved on to the new S2 model and the new R model, which they do not share the same battery, even though this battery, maybe they realize it's not doing so hot. But guys, that's pretty much everything today. I've had this for about 3 months. I really love this bike. It is fun to ride. It is functional for me. But the one thing with this battery life, if you guys have been having the same issues, please let me know, because hey, if it's just me, it's just me. If a lot more people are having this, then this is something that needs to be brought up and needs to be addressed by the company, even though they've been really, really great at getting me the pieces that seem to have gone wrong. They've helped me out with that. All right, guys, if you have any questions, put it in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram at M8B9. You can email me at matt8b9@gmail.com. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. It is